Well, shall we start or something? It's totally informal. I'm Charles Chen, and there's our chief engineer, Carter Wang. And I thank you, all of you, be able to come. I think that main idea is, well, the urgency of the situation, everybody knows. And we all contribute some, hopefully, some great ideas. In fact, they should be up there in the top, rather than let little people like us doing the job. But I think, well, at least our team anyway, do think we have something to offer. And we're going to present this great work. And hopefully, eventually, now, we really like all of you to contribute. I'm sure all of you have individual powerful ideas. One way or another, technically, socially, legally, culturally, or in whatever form, to add to the whole thing. Maybe you can even get it better organized. Now, my idea is I push for a very simple idea. Right from day one in December, January, when we know the situation in China, and the news were not out to the world, we all were aware very critically in the medical group. And so even then, I formed this whole idea. Well, basically, epidemiologically, it's containment in the early on. But right now, spread to over 80 countries, no longer containment, it's more mitigation. Of course, he's very good at mitigation. I was very good in containment. Now, how do I do a containment? Now, I propose some simple concept here. I want everybody to criticize me. And if China were to put on this model in place, even second or third week, we would have it totally under control. And that's my proposition. Should be under control within 2 weeks. Even now, it's not too late by our model. Now, I'm sure you have all heard of Alibaba just put out a system in China. China, 800 million people are under lockdown, and 6 weeks now. And well, forget about the economic loss in human, social, psychological, and social changes. And there is a simple technology that can be implemented in the model that I want to present together with Carter. There's nothing magical about containment. Containment is actually quite simple, I think, and scientifically, not politically. And well, our model, I divide the total population into, if we're a small town in Wuhan, Hubei, or whole of China, or for that matter, the whole world. The simple way is C+, C minus. C minus means coronal negative, which means all of us. None of us is suspicious. We are all coronal negative, C minus. Now, so the model is this. So this is timeline. This is total population, whichever population is not important. Now, majority of this is C minus, almost 98%. Now, second concept is what we call C plus, a tiny percent portion, C negative. I introduced another concept called COI, cases of interest. These are the people who have symptoms of cough, fever, that they are testing, with temperature. If you got cough, you report. That's why we need the second category here. In fact, the only category we need in the world is C plus and C minus. In fact, the whole medical world based on this distinction. Whole court system, legal system. Either you are criminal or you are non-criminal. Non-criminal, lay out back to society, criminal put in jail. Medicine, the same thing. Normal people, get on with your life. Sick people, hopefully so-called sick, you need treatment. That's the simple concept. C plus, C minus. Now, I propose our system will work based on 2 or 3 conditions. It will contain it within 2 weeks. Nothing magical about it. Even in China today, if they were to institute this model. How so? First, well, with this app, well, I call it CVCM, virus crisis management system. Now, if whole population first register, sign their basic personal data, date of birth, male, female, job, where they live, and of course contact very important. The family contact and the work colleagues, because cluster and tracing, tracking, and that become later in the data. So you got the first the register, and secondly, every day, all of them, the whole population, have to log in, check within the system, they form, they got symptoms or not, fever, cough, shortness of breath. Once it started there, I suppose immediately you separate the whole lot from here on the day-to-day basis. The whole population is known. In China, they can do that because everybody had iPhone and they have the register system. So day one, you already separate the C class from this group. The COI, case of interest with temperature and fever, and this got to be organized with the government because this is management productivity system. It's by itself, it never work. It's government system. In China, they can absolutely do that. Massive training of medical people, field people, data people, on the phone call, the screening group, contact these people, COI, and they, on the phone alone, you can isolate medically, majority, whether they are normal, abnormal, contact with cases or not, and then send people to do testing. Definitive testing, they only take at most 3 to 4 hours. In fact, the quick one, they can do it in 90 minutes. In the massive production, China manufacturing those PCR testing kits. And so once they're testing it positive, and those very sick ones, they send people to go and pick them up, with protective clothes, ambulance, and then get sent to the treatment center. So day one, they already separate whole thing. Day two, you do the same. As you do the same, this group become more and narrower because the idea is not for them to spread to the C- group. So that's one mechanism. Second mechanism, we massively screen C- population on the, you can propose different frequency. I was thinking in terms of 14-day cycle. Now if, say for example, Wuhan or New York, 14 million people, 12 million people, if they could do 800,000 a day, 14 cycle, perfect. But do they have that resources? Yes, they do, in terms of training the medical, non-medical nurses, field tester. So assuming they get tested every day, and quickly, a lot of this C- becomes more and more. And like the situation in quarantine now, the massive quarantine of the total population is totally idiosyncratic. It's not scientific. If you're healthy, like you're in New York, do you have to be quarantined? Absolutely not. The only thing is we are suspicious whether you are or you are not positive carrier or not. But now the system can separate the C- of the C+. Now, those who tested negative, on a daily basis, they're given a badge. I call it DP, daily permit. These are the people who are allowed to get back to the society, do whatever, normal daily activities. Work, play, school, restaurant. Now, if you carry that, the two reasons why right now people are locked in the house. One is government mandate. Second is individual fear. They fear to get out there who you are, whether I'll get infection from you or not. So there are two sources that lock them in. But if everybody is C-, got a badge there, certified, being clear, do the individual need to have any fear? No. Do the government have to maintain all the C- lockdown, quarantine? No. Doesn't make sense, does it? Now, of course, the main question is, there are a lot of cheaters out there, liars or leakage. And they got the badge by, whatever cheating way. But we know this system is a foolproof, self-perfecting system. Because if somebody got a positive symptom, would they go out there themselves? No, you don't. You can't get that. Even though you get that, the fake one, right away in the street or at work, your boss will get you, your colleague will get you, wait, you are coughing, why are you here? They would click, and the system right away get police or inspector, get them back out of the open population. And well, secondly, they themselves want to be treated. They want to contact these people to be treated. And that's it in the system. Now, over time, within 2 weeks, don't you think all this would be more and more clear and separate this one from this one? So with China today, still need quarantine? Absolutely not. So that's a basic model. Now, of course, right now expanded to mitigation phase. He has far more data in the back end in terms of cluster chasing, getting the first index case, and who to follow in order to be more efficient to reallocate the resources, the screening test. Because can China handle, or for that matter, America right now, we are dangerous. We only tested less than 500 over the last 4 weeks. And only beginning yesterday, only allowed 1,000 or 70, I think 70,000 for the whole country per week. And New York City big state allocated 7,000 or 1,000 per day. And I do not know whether you know, we have friends work in emergency, sick, suspected, they say not, CDC would say no, not qualified to do the test. And if they qualify, they got to ship from CDC and then back 48 hours minimal. It's actually reality 4 or 5 days. This is not the way to handle the situation, because the test kits, if you massively manufacturing in large scale by the millions, in this case billions, it's very cheap, a couple of dollars. And the Korean already started doing it, 200 tests a day. Can China do it? 800,000 or 1 million? Absolutely possible. Then question, can we Americans do it? We cannot. We do not have that quality kits yet, or the number. So we are in big trouble if it become, far spread. So, well, with that,
Dr. Chen, may I ask you a very simple question?
Yes.
Before this gentleman go on. This is excellent program, but China have to be mandatory as everyone to register in this program. That's
Right.
my question. Do they have to or must be or something like that? Can you force them to register in this program? Your program is very good. C1, C minus, C plus, personal interest is a very good program. They have manpower, they have financial power. Definitely China could do it. I agree with you. But do they have to mandatory as everybody had to register in this program?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, can they do it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because especially after you've been locked down more than 2 weeks, what will you do? First thing you want to get out. How do you get out? Through this system. Lock in. Register.
Okay.
Lock in. Therefore, that's the only chance. And this also helps the system to work better.
Okay.
Yep, you are right.
Yeah, one more thing, Dr. Chan, as a follow-up question for, if we were to implement this sort of system in America, if, hypothetically, if that were to happen, we don't necessarily, because privacy is like much bigger thing, we don't have a central sort of like government to lean back on, like China's just like, if you want to do this, we're going to do this, you either follow along or you don't, or you stay quarantined.
Yeah.
A lot of people here I can see refusing to give rights to an application.
It's totally unconstitutional.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, so how do we get
That's
around
why we have to adapt. In fact, it took us extra 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that's a subsequent work. Carter would, Here, right now, we are not doing containment. This is a containment system. Before it spread.
Next level, yeah.
Now we are, China, they still can do containment. But the
Yeah,
rest of the
yeah,
world,
that's true,
forget
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, it's mitigation to reduce the spread, get the index case, cluster follow, and minimize death rates. It's very important. How do you minimize death rate? People like Tim and me, we have to be hiding over 65 immunity compromised medical problems, and then let you young guy get out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a way to minimize death rate. Because young people, you know, little mild, moderate symptoms, come on, get on, just like daily cough and cold, or minor flu, no problem, yep. And that strategy, yeah, we do that. Try to emphasize that we use artificial intelligence cluster following, and whoever got medical problem before, and it would automatically alert them, you know, where they got maximum cases of cluster, and minimize exposure in an appropriate way. And that's where the alerts sending out in different alerts according to individual. Now, in here, we would have to have a voluntary system run by maybe Department of Health, and privately we cannot, because we need to have all those data to get in there. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, I do think in terms of the politics here, the legal problem, the cultural behavior, social behavior, and group psychology. Yeah, all these have to be taken into consideration. Absolutely right.
That's true. I agree. It would definitely work for a country like China, but they can definitely.
It's not even late now. Yeah.
Yeah, they can still do this.
Yeah. Well, Tsinghua Daily, we demonstrate to them, and they very happy, and they produce 2 articles, and I think I emailed to everybody except. Right. And they appreciate it. But now, even yesterday, the journalist that did our article was pulled back to China by Donald Trump.
I have a question. So I think the model is interesting. My main concern is how do we, so your description is classifying people into 3 different categories, C positive, COI, and C negative. How do you classify people who are asymptomatic, but are carriers, or C positive?
Well, this is where the screening come in. You got no symptoms, you're not proven positive, you're still hiding here. We do cycle of every 14 days, and those cluster we can do them even more frequent. If you know there's such an intense population in maybe that apartment, you know, everybody talk to the doorman in the elevator, you know, passing on to each other, and without saying that whole building maybe every 5 to 7 days routine screening, saliva, nose, you know, eyes and face. Now, how accurate right now? Of course, nothing is 100%. But if you reduce it to 95%, are you happy with 95%? Oh yes. No clinical medicine, you know. Even your Donald Trump is elected more than 51%. That's all, or less.
Yeah, you know, my brother is in Assumption right now,
Okay.
and it's very interesting. He lives in an apartment building. They close the lobby. You have to go in and out through the garage, and they set up like a sort of like a medical tent. Everybody has to be checked going in and out.
Right.
They check the temperatures,
By the temperature, it's too late.
and they don't allow they don't allow visitors in there.
Right.
They have to limit the interaction.
Right.
And I heard that a lot of the buildings there's like that they monitor it. And then my cousin who's in Shanghai, he said that actually in China, like they have like neighborhood. It's not the police, but it's like
Xiao Qu, small district.
Yeah, they monitor the neighborhood,
That's correct.
so they know what's going on in that area. And he said that if like they see someone buy more rice than usual, they'll be knocking on your door to see like if someone moved in.
That will answer your question, and your question,
yeah.
why they
Yeah, so
possible.
they already have that in place.
That's correct.
We
We cannot do that.
Right, no.
Like here.
Yeah, so I mean, they can, if you just train all those different groups to unite them together to monitor.
You're absolutely right. They have the manpower to train and to be trained and distribute around, you know, everywhere, small group and regional screening and testing. Absolutely right. That's why in crisis, you know, those communistic, socialistic, they're far more effective. Yeah.
So with this technique of yours, the person that is C minus
Yes.
has to wear this badge. I could see in New York, somebody will mug somebody for that badge, or there'll be a black market for that badge. You know, there has to be another more sure-proof identifying
Oh.
system, and also people don't want to be stigmatized. I mean, this is positive, but it's almost like where something good is stigmatizing you, and I can't do what you do. So it's a sociological.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
we have decided the EP system probably will not work in New York City
Yes, right,
or
that's
America.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, it will not work
Work
in
there
America.
perfectly. That's why get those
Yeah,
1.34 billion people out by DP, and it works.
it will not work in
Not here. Different system. You are right. That's why we modified it accordingly. Yeah. And with more data in, we can sort of better refine the system. And hopefully this discussion would actually refine the system even before we have the data. Yeah, that's the whole idea. So improve our quality of life for the next few weeks, few months. That's all. Yeah. I mean, brain is better than experience. Yeah. Okay.
So basically, this web you just register is a normal website. So this is a survey row. So the first, right now it's symptoms. So basically you enter your daily symptoms here. At the date, severity of cough, I think occasional mild, moderate, severe. If you have fever, and so basically, these are all symptoms of the COVID-19.
But it's this fever that feel, can you put in a number?
Yeah, can
Very refined. Good for research.
yeah. So basically,
Data analysis, AI.
so basically, you want medicine taken today, and the places you have to do today. Actually, from here, probably it's better to do this, but we are thinking later. Because you need to record your train information, your airplane information, your taxi information, kind of thing. So it's not really write down what you see. And number of your contact and contact people some information stuff. So right now the government is negative and go everywhere. This is DP, and go everywhere. And here is some recommendation that I need to ask something. It's actually China recommendation or European for US. And under seminar. Yeah, so the second level, you can only go to pharmacy. Actually, the DP is for China, so it doesn't matter. So they just don't go unless necessary, and you recommend nearby pharmacies and you recommend some kind of medicine. Oh, and it's third level, so we tell you to go self quarantine. So you just stay home, don't come out. And then we recommend you do CT, you do test kit, laboratories, and we recommend you do test also. But yeah. And right now in China, they actually only confirm you are positive. Actually, you do the symptoms and CT result, and because the test kit result is not accurate. someone has tested like eight times tested negative, but from CT, she's positive. Yeah, so this is your preschool hospital. So you can only go to hospital. So this is 4 levels. Single group, and then go to Canada. Yeah, that's your symptoms and stuff.
Also attractive.
Yeah, actually, I put something like one thing. So clear track the GPS, what you mean. And see it out. Hospital appointment shows if it's an online doctor session, so you probably just video conference with doctors or some people prefer that. Actually in China, because they don't want you to go to hospital or go to see doctor because it's easy to get infected in hospital. This is just message. Message you have the alert. So if you have like one call with 19 positive patients confirmed in the area, you will receive an alert. So you can see area or city with you live here, right? And here is like have like most dangerous area, right? And here is less dangerous, and here is dangerous. And then you have population at risk, which actually population at risk, which is actually calculated based on the place you've been, the people you met, and yeah, and that kind of thing, pretty much a prediction. But the area of risk, yeah, if we detected an area of risk near where you live, like your nearby building has a C+ or tested positive, that will send you an alert. And this is actually the reason actually for. Doctor UI, so doctor can see the other patient, and I can see if it's in the hospital or status, so severity, source of infection, and here are all the personal information about this guy. So like treatment details and the treatment equipment used, treatment medicine used. And if you are like S-, or if you are C+, the system will predict how many days to cure based on the past data, past treatment data. And we give each person like a immunity score, because people which is older has less immunity, how to say, immunity system of the body is bad, right? Is it? Doctor, is it? Yeah, so immunity system, so that score is actually pretty important to me as for, I think.
What does, you said next immunity is 5, what does the 5
Oh,
mean?
so this is really, for immunity is, I will give a score between 1 to 10.
Is it on a, what type of scale is it on?
It depends on your age, and it depends on your past medical history, and it depends on how healthy you are, I guess. If you do sports or go outside a lot, if you like eat, then on my day it's not very fun. Actually, the most yeah.
But the scale of immunity doesn't exist, it would have to be built.
I'm sorry, what?
The scale for immunity, let's say from 0 to 10, doesn't currently exist, or
Oh no, it doesn't really exist. So basically, when we have data, we will look at the see the people, like the people who already died, and then we will have their data, and we can use that as basically, and we can gather the data from people who's cured, the past, then like can basically. And the weather can still from actually from here you can also under the source of infection. That button is lost. So this is source of infection is like is for your index case. And then you can check that results, like we want to check that with patient zero or your area or patient zero is the whole thing. So it's one to the treatment. Yeah, so for the treat the patient. 3 and your day, and time. And you do this online session, a treatment process. I say road use, equipment use. Actually, it should, here should be like at least choices instead of test area, but we don't know for sure that, what kind of equipment and medicine should be used. So just do the text. Because we want to track what like how many medicine we use, what kind of medicine, what kind of equipment, so we can track the cost. Of the like how much money does it cover to cure one person or something. But I know we can compare, like I see compare equipment. If the equipment is expensive, but it's actually the same effect as the cheaper equipment, and it's really cheap equipment. So money. And treatment effect and the status, this now this or season is back. So I have a calendar and for doctor, so you can see every patient's stuff, and truly to see one person also kind of problematic. Yeah, so basically also. Yes, I don't know is quality control or suspected case, few case, 6 case, like I will after. And here you should have all the states listed, with this thing, and then click through it. I can't find the vital map for this. Normally you should click on the map, then you go in right, but I can't find it. Yes. So basically you got the state total status in the state. Then you data drill, right? You drill down to city, and then you drill down to Manhattan. Then from Manhattan you drill down to the zip code. Then the zip code you have to take your hospital. So basically from here you can track not only these 4 stats, you can track the many stats. Like from mild from mild to moderate and from moderate to severe. So one thing in China is because China has similar patients relax personnel and supplies. So here either they will request for steps less than delta, our system can predict like they are established. And we can start some new stuff. This is system working. Here's our numbers. So I have a scenario simulation. So these are the things they keep. Actually, not me, the Gaussian tree. To simulate future, like future 7 days, what will happen with these parameters. So we don't have the data yet, but the thing is that when I change the city and the state and this county, it seems to change the totally bounded by the region. So but now it's good. So if you run a simulation, it will give you the prediction for the 7 days. Like how many new positive, how many new suspect, how many new field, how many new seeds. So the most important thing here is infection rate. Yeah, actually, before the first choice was the direction of the infection, the direction of the infection. Since you have the circle at risk, you have a area at risk, then you can actually look at this map and see where the infection is being spread to. And then you can have source of infection. Basically just use index case to find the source of the infection. I guess for each patient, it has a infected from and infected to. So for that, you can do this. And also, you can also use gene sequence traceability. If the data give you the gene sequence data. Yeah, so this the rest is pretty straightforward. I'm not the person else, but I don't know if you can do this because I don't know if they will give us inventories. You can find the best treatment process by using the treatment process data under by the doctor and treatment effect data, immunity, age data, and to confirm. You can find the best for the patient given this severity. Then I will also this is tables, users, and investigators. Master, hospital, and doctors. On the message.
What is that message tab over there?
Oh, it's just the system message, and then you can talk to the doctor, you can call to hospital as well.
Who would have control of this data set?
It has to be government. The government has control of it. So there is an animal reports easily, right? And just animal reports or as you know, animal comments.
Are you planning to propose this to either the CVC or our medical health department?
Yeah, I believe so.
Do you know if they already have something similar in place?
We don't know. Yeah. should not, because China doesn't have it. Because Alibaba has the apps, but the app is actually a lot more on AI. The app is more concentrated on CT imaging processing. Because CT has like 300 pictures, right? It takes put out like 5 to 15 minutes to look at the thing. But the AI algorithms can finish it in like 20 seconds. And also they use right now we use CT to test output and test speed, right? They are using the gene sequence test, which is the most accurate, which also is I don't remember the thing. But the thing is, I don't know if we're going to get a gene sequence from the gene sequence company.
Well, as far as I read, they have China has offered the genetic sequences from like 129 different samples from the infected positive cases.
No, it's not good, the data, because I look at it, the GSA, right? They China uploaded the data over there, right? So it's not good, the data is not good, because you only, I was tracing the source patient 0, right? Don't look at the data, it doesn't have the early data. So it's not good. We don't care if it's, I mean, for tracing, you only need the early data. You don't really need the early data. Which is the source of infection. But since in USA, I believe we can get the gene sequence we want. So you probably can use it, we can use pretty genetic tree algorithms and try to find it.
I think very small edge case, but this is the limitations of its application depends on thorough testing kits. Otherwise, the spread will be much quicker. The rate of spread will be much quicker than the rate of containment. But secondly, I think there are areas where the lack of technology, such as like access to phone, access to internet, will limit the usage of this application. Only because, well, one, it takes only one infected person to quickly spread.
For right, I don't think it's going to matter, because if he doesn't have his phone, right, if he doesn't have like internet, but he probably leave alone, like no local people around him. You know what I mean?
But how would a person? Well,
there'll be less people there, so it's likely to spread infection.
Yeah.
So because if you have no internet, you don't expect a large population there.
Yeah.
So it'll be a very rural area.
No, I mean for a single person, right? Or
Right.
let's say a person who.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, but I think what he's saying is that they're focusing on the concentrated areas.
Sure.
Cities where they will have internet.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be some rural areas where they won't have it, but you don't expect to be traveling there. And if they have the virus, they can't really spread it to many people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So right now what we need is like I can't really do it alone because it's kind of like really take time. Because of the AI thing first, and the backend thing also. So we would I think we would like help from like UI backend, AI. Yeah.
Where's the AI currently used?
Just the system thing, right? like system of prediction. AI is all about prediction, right?
Prediction of what, the rate of spread or the simulation?
Prediction. It's like one system predict one will occur, right? Yeah. So basically, one was just program has a prediction yet. It's a system prediction yet. It's not sure. AI or statics.
So
I'm sorry.
this go ahead.
I'm still a little bit unclear. What is the AI predicting? Didn't quite get that.
It's like when you right here, right, source infection kind of AI, right? And right here, so basically, when I will have a prediction, is AI can like system prediction, assembly secure. So it's based on the past treatment data, and many places has it.
How reliable is that AI, right? Because basically this is machine learning based on statistics, on like historical data, with a error margin of like, let's say.
We can't really say it until we have data.
But even then, how valuable is it to have prediction of 7 days if it's like plus or minus 2, 3, 4, 5 days, right? So if it's saying 7 days and you actually take 12 days, is there really a difference in terms of this AI system?
Yes, it's going to be actually, I'm not sure about it.
I suppose like all AI system at the beginning, initiation, this is new. Your data is lacking, it will not be that useful. As you gather more, even day by day, there's more supervision and more data coming in, you would get more and more accuracy. I know, I think by 14 days, 30 days, I think the accuracy could be up to 90%. Now, further up, well, you know how the graph goes.
The other thing that I think, if I'm understanding this correctly, that the AI could be used for is doctors currently look at CT scans to determine, I guess, AI analysis.
Imaging kind of
CT
diagnosis.
imaging to be like, oh, this person.
Oh, that would be entirely different territory altogether. We don't get involved in that.
Oh, okay, I see. And
That is still the huge research you're doing on.
okay.
Yeah, we don't get involved in that.
What about the gene sequencing is the other thing, right?
That one is again,
Same
different
thing.
research territory.
Okay, cool.
You know, all the individuals using this app, it presumes that when you self-report that you're honest. That's the thing, you know. So I don't know what percentage of people when they self-report that they will underreport their symptoms. You know, that's,
Well, that depends on use.
yeah,
In
that's
different
what I mean.
country.
Yeah.
In China, the accuracy I would say is huge because there's every reason for them to be accurate themselves because they want to be treated. If not, their colleague report them, and the punishment is severe. And the official checking is much more intensive. Here, we can't do that.
Right, that's what I
The
mean.
the
In
employer
America,
have to report too,
yeah.
the employer.
Employee, bosses, people in the streets, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in theory this works very well, I think, but
In China's system, absolutely.
but it takes only one malicious actor for whatever incentives they have
Yes.
to basically destroy the whole system that we described here. I think if a person, for whatever reason, lies or
How could they lie? Because you walk out with that, layers of detection, your boss, employment, they have inspector, and and the police, every couple of blocks, you're coughing, I let them know at a click. Yeah. But in here, the percentage, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all about different society. And eventually then public education. Public education is extremely important
Yes.
because eventually for their benefit and for society benefit, sure, there are idiots out there and free world got more and more. We have to accept that, part of freedom.
I can see the usefulness of the app for people who's willing to sign on. And I'm talking about, say, a place like this, in where we're living right now.
I think that's a very powerful idea. But eventually, as the usefulness people spread, they want to know the need. Basically, here is more informational. Then you say your information help you, then they more and more lock in. Like Facebook, at the beginning, not many people get in. And after a while, they just find a utility. And then voluntarily, it's all about utility.
But I find that one concern that I have is that we don't have policies in place to encourage
You are so
people.
right.
Because in order for this app
Yes.
to be implemented and to be useful,
In the Western world?
you first need buy-in. So I have friends who work in Singapore, and
Okay.
right now they've been very quite successful in terms of these strategies, and they do not have schools closed across the board, right? And what they do is they actually have a system in place where every single school, every single student carries their own thermometer, measure themselves twice a day, and the teachers are required to report on behalf of the student, and then monitoring data, age, gender, and teachers have to do it the same way. But again, you're talking about a place where there is centralized government, where
Yes.
there's directive.
Yes.
Whereas we, right now, we don't have it.
Big holes.
I've been
Right.
teaching this ever since I started teaching research as Stuyvesant, but yet, we do not have policies in place. Let us just say if I want to implement that in my classroom out of care for students, right? Let us just say I don't report to anybody, I just have them self-check. I even would have trouble doing that because of privacy issues that you have raised, right? Even out of caring concern, even educating, I would find some students rolling their eyes wondering, you're probably overreacting.
Well, that depends on the how severe the epidemic. Eventually, the people, individual will decide, is your privacy more important? Is your life and death more important from that point of view? And early on right now, you are absolutely right. The acceptance rate would be so low, so low. As the panic rise, and then the application, the self-reporting accuracy, public education would be improving. Eventually, at what level, nobody knows. 60%, I'd be happy. You're right, I don't aim for 100% in this. Because this nature of the democracy. And how useful utility drop down is more informational. And as people find it informationally helpful, they will go in. Even though they do not have iPhone, they will ask their friend for it.
The thing is that so inform the doctors, right? I mean, if you are sick, eventually you're going to use the doctor. And
Right.
if the doctors will not use
Self-interest.
then that probably is because first we need the government to push into the hospitals.
Oh, I hope more questions, very interesting question, all helpful. And they all can chip in.
Could that be used in university now? Can you software?
Talking to health department now.
Yeah, talk to them. They are more accessible than the Chinese government.
Political inertia, totally.
Have you gotten any response from them?
We got to sort of get stronger marketing guy to push that, or politically connected guy. Anyone here?
No, you have to know who's in charge of China.
Yeah,
The policy keep
getting
changing
people along the
every
way.
time.
You're right.
There's so much bureaucracy. Like we donate so much mask, face mask, everything back to China. And what happened? They power outside the hospital. You know what happened? they want that to be registered with Chinese government. And the model, they said the model we donated is not used in China and not tested in China. And we say, wait a second, all the American doctors using that kind of model, right? Even we talk about 3M. 3M, they only use one of the model in China. And some model, they don't use it. It's so much of a, come on, this is a crisis, right? We donated the one that's certified in America, used in American doctor usage, and there they power them up. And the doctor in the hospital had no mask, no face, they would not allow them to use it. They say it's not tested in China, not registered in China, we're not going to using the American stuff that we not proven in China. So it's the whole thing, so many masks, the power in the outside hospital. Why? But the Chinese are stupid, they just say they won't allow them to use it. I have no idea. And actually, I think, to be honest, I think the crisis in the beginning, they don't have a central coordination office. Like here we have a FEMA. That back there, why everybody wearing face masks in Beijing, in Shanghai, in something, and then there are no face masks in the hospital in Wuhan. They should able to mobilize it. Limit people can in Beijing and Shanghai don't wear them. You ship all those things back to China. And when the crisis first come in, they never ship any manpower. They do it later. Military is moving already, and things get moving. See, the whole system just totally. So you talk about at the essence to put a software to know exactly who's who, what they do, blah blah blah. Even the mayor of the Wuhan. The question why they don't report the case high up? They say they did. But
those are
they
the
get no
early days.
response.
I think mistakes were made.
No.
And they all
We
recognize
understand
it.
that, but that's a problem.
Those are past history.
There's a bureaucracy. Even now, the face map problem, there's so shortage. There's real.
There's question leadership and about political.
No, I know it's not.
It's beyond us. We do our little job.
Yeah, I would say it's a really, this gentleman, what he say, I 100% agree with you. Because the political systems,
Yes,
it's very different.
they're very different from us. We are Democrat society. So just we talk about before you try to, how to call that, carry out this plan. It's very difficult in the United States too. The privacy we're talking about. Probably we cannot do it, Dr. Chen, we cannot do it here. You got mandatory, these people register, C1, C minus, C plus, COA, what. Probably we cannot do it here. This gentleman mentioned that in China, it's a completely different society.
That's right.
See, they have their own policy. They have their own politics. See,
But in China, they can do it. We know the right person. If you know, let's say maybe it's
Your good friend.
he ordered that everybody do it, it will be get done.
Yeah.
But
That's the hope. That's the
it's a
hope.
military order, okay? So you can military order down, everybody get done.
Yes.
In America, it's actually even harder to get it done.
Well, if the situation are uncontrolled over
You
there,
have
they
to
will
get
have
the
to
notes, you have to get the right
But
connection.
right now,
you
they
get the right
think they're
connection.
comfortable with the level of mobility, mortality. They accept that socially and politically. His position is secure to things.
One more comment.
You're right. Here, democracy, there, aristocracy.
So what's the status of this app now? What level are you
Well,
at?
we completed the modify for.
So basically, if a government wants it, we can give him in 2 days for the main functions, right? So but the thing is for the we still need people for the government functions for the analysis and reports and stuff. Yeah. I mean, for the patient and doctors, it's easy, right? It's pretty much data entry, right? And but for the government, they will need like some reports and analysis and a lot of stuff. So basically, they need to or UI that can help you. But right now, if the government wants it, we can just give them they can because the most important data, right? They're not can use it, patient can use it, the doctor can use it. We have the data. It's the most important thing. The government can wait for the.
I mean, for this to work, you need an educated public.
That's right, public education is part of the whole thing,
Without
you're
them
right.
participating,
Participation,
it,
yeah,
it will not work.
so true.
And so it's just more than an app, you have to get everybody involved.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a question of how the situation, evolved. It evolved getting more and more into 6 months, 3 months, then more and more people will be interested and find it, useful. But if the question under control and the interest will be very quickly diluted and totally disappear. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And, I mean, with China now, I mean, you have to act fast.
We tried to act before our first case, but we were behind. Our goal was getting before the first case. I cried when I heard the first case.
Maybe easier to go to the Department of Health in New York City.
Yes, that's our goal.
No, actually, they are easy, they are accessible, they are just regular doctors.
Well, they just approved the budget. I don't know, 7.5 billion from federal health. What does that mean to us?
Public grants.
Yep, the state also, approved it, and the city got a slice of it. And our job is, if they can help these people of the New York City, and I'm sure we all have a lot of anxiety, and even reduce a little bit of anxiety, I'll pay for it.
Have you considered contacting Margaret Chin?
Somebody, you are actually right, proposed, we tried all resources, including Margaret Chin, Senator Schumer, and we got to get deeper response yet.
Right.
You're right. All these are open channel,
And if you could get, I think,
You know deeper, more decision working people
No,
within
but
it.
what I'm wondering is, we want to try multiple avenues, so
Yes,
maybe even consider
we
epidemiologists.
did try. Yeah,
Because they could explain it in ways, use terminologies that would attract their eyes.
politically, yes.
Yes.
So right. This is technical. Well, at least try to get it, working first. That's why your ideas and thoughts are so useful.
Dr. Chen, is it possible you write down a proposal, give to Margaret Chen or who's that, Congressman lady in Queens, that lady,
Grace Mann.
Grace Mann, present them a proposal.
Any technical writer here? We've been working, before the system is ready, we could not do it. And that's why here, Ricky.
I got the coding part, but I'm not. I need someone with lingo to explain it to me, and then I can write it.
So architecture is microservices.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So basically it's easy, right? I just give you one service, you do it, and then you finish, you come back to.
Okay.
For scaling, right, you use the function needed, or forward needed, then our system is very scalable.
Yeah, definitely. If for example, millions of people were using it, it would be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm easy to write code too.
So anybody can help us get some good technical writer, marketer, politician access.
Oh, you're Ricky.
Yeah.
Nice
to meet you. Yeah. I can definitely look
Or
for people who might be
whichever
interested in-
direction can help.
Yeah.
You can email me and Oh, I'm full-time internist, so I only do that part-time, and so is Carter, and I think he did a fantastic job, and I'm sure all of you, the ideas add up to a lot to us. We thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You have done a lot.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, shall we go downstairs and have a little bit of bites?